There are places where reality feels thinner, where the air carries something heavy. Tonight, we open a documented archive, one carved into stone and sealed with blood, the Tower of London. Before we go further, subscribe and turn on the notification bell to join the archive, because what you're about to hear doesn't stay in the past. This fortress wasn't built for comfort. In the year 1078, William the Conqueror raised the White Tower to dominate London. Not protect it, control it. The walls were meant to intimidate. Over time, intimidation became imprisonment, torture, execution. By day, it's a landmark. By night, something else. The Yeoman Warders who live inside these walls will tell you, the past doesn't echo here, it presses in. Let's start with Anne Boleyn. On May 19, 1536, she was led to Tower Green. Calm on the surface, terrified underneath. A French swordsman stood ready. One clean strike. That was the promise. The sword fell, and something stayed behind. In 1864, a sentry collapsed during his watch. At trial, he gave a sworn account. A woman in white emerged from the mist, silent, drifting. He challenged her, no response. He charged his bayonet, passed through her like smoke. Then, a freezing shock. He blacked out. A major general witnessed the entire thing from a window above. The soldier was acquitted. The British Army accepted the impossible. Anne is still seen, especially near the chapel where her body lies beneath stone. But she isn't the only one. In 1483, two boys entered the tower, Edward V and his younger brother, Richard. They were seen playing, then watching from windows, then not at all. In 1674, workers uncovered bones beneath a staircase. Two small skeletons, the princes. Guards have reported hearing soft laughter in empty halls. Not joyful, nervous, like children hiding. In the 20th century, two guards saw them. Small figures in white nightshirts, holding hands. Faces pale with fear. They didn't run. They stepped backward, into the wall, and vanished. A visiting child in the 1990s screamed in the bloody tower. She pointed to an empty corner and said, "The boys are here. They say run, the bad man is coming." She described marks on their necks, details she should not have known. The tower doesn't just remember, it replays. There's a theory, the stone tape, that materials like limestone record trauma, and under the right conditions, play it back. That might explain Margaret Pole. Her execution in 1541 was chaos. She refused the block. The executioner panicked. He struck again and again as she tried to escape. Witnesses today report hearing her scream. Not just hearing it, feeling it. Panic, flooding the body. A moment trapped in time, and sometimes it gets physical. In the 1970s, a Yeoman Warder was locking the Salt Tower. A force shoved him. Then hands cold, invisible wrapped around his throat. He survived, barely. He never came back. There are also things that don't fit. In 1816, a guard saw a massive bear rise from the fog. It charged. He struck, it vanished. He died 2 days later. Cause of death, fear. And then there are the shadows. In the 1980s, a watchman reported a shapeless black mass moving along the ramparts. No face, no limbs, just presence. Rotting smell, crushing dread, as if the tower itself was breathing. Even animals react. Trained guard dogs refuse to enter certain areas. They whine, pull away, stare into empty space. They don't know history. They know danger. So what is the tower? Not just a building, it's a collection point, a place where fear was repeated, refined, perfected for centuries. That kind of energy doesn't fade. It settles into the stone, into the air, into the silence between footsteps. When the gates close, the towers doesn't sleep. The sentries still walk. The boys still hide. The queen still wanders, searching for something she'll never find. And the question isn't whether ghosts exist. It's this: how could they not? If you made it this far, like the video, subscribe, and tell me in the comments, what place do you think holds the most residual energy in the world? This has been another entry in the True Haunt lore. Sleep well, because some places never forget. So after delving into the bloody and tragic history we just covered, the infamous executions, the captive royals, and the headless apparitions wandering the grounds, you're probably wondering, what exactly is the atmosphere like at the Tower of London today? Well, my personal take on this massive fortress right now is all about the overwhelming contrast. If you visit the heart of modern-day London expecting to find a dark, isolated dungeon, you will be met with something entirely different. Today, this site is surrounded by the bustling modern energy of the city. Yet as soon as you step inside those massive walls, the vibe completely shifts. The historic stone architecture of the tower is remarkably preserved. On a quiet morning, before the massive crowds of tourists arrive, the grounds actually have this surprisingly serene, almost peaceful atmosphere. You look at the immaculate green lawns and the classic English stone structures, and for a brief second, it feels beautifully historic rather than horrifying. But honestly, from my perspective, that fleeting sense of peace is exactly what makes the tower so deceptive. You simply cannot escape the physical weight of its past. While tourists are busy taking photos or admiring the crown jewels, you can still feel a cold, heavy dread baked directly into that ancient stone. To the guards who actually live on site, the ghosts of Anne Boleyn or the lost princes aren't just urban legends. They are just a normal part of the night shift. The Tower of London is a stunning masterpiece of historic architecture, but it never lets you forget the blood spilled on its cobblestones. Thanks for joining me on this case, and I'll catch you in the next mystery.